All right, we're going to move on to item number 5, consent calendar. All items are considered routine or implemented at an earlier council action, may be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion unless requested. And just for me, I would like to just go over item E, not asking for a separate vote, just to kind of summarize it and the one new additional committee. Are there any things that council wants to have removed for a separate line item vote? Not seeing any. Are there any that we just have clarifications or questions that like to be asked? Councilmember Hamilton.
Yeah, I have a question about 5G.
Got it. Thank you. Are there any others? Okay, seeing none. I thought it was those views. Okay, why don't we go then, we'll go to item E. Receive, report, and confirm appointment of city council members to city council subcommittees as liaisons to advisory commission boards and committees, as well as representatives and alternates to the county in the regional capacity. So what I wanted to do is, and yes, I appreciate folks being patient and me asking the questions. What it was to be more detailed. So very specific as to pre-COVID, where did the group meet, right? If you say they met at the county, well, where at the county? Or if they met at the transit district, specifically the second floor, the auditorium, so that anybody who comes on, that there is already a kind of the blueprint. And instead of just saying quarterly, to be specific, what months, what times. And so anyway, just to get more detail. So that's why you see a lot more information on that. On the ad hoc committee assignments, they're listed and self-explanatory. The one that there is a change and an error was on the last one. It says Clean San Bruno Action Committee, and it says Hamilton Salazar. That could be Hamilton Medina. Let me clarify which one. Marty. So the vice mayor. And so what that is, and it has come up, but is, you know, we've been talking about this and what's going on. So what I have been doing is reaching out to the Caltrans. And so as far as, you know, the 3 sites that we had, now there's 2 sites that need to be cleaned. Most people are aware of it or have communicated about it. It's also was reaching out to them to explore potentially, is there a maintenance agreement? Meaning, will they let, if we do it, can we then bill them back for our staff's time? Is there an adopt a program? Is there an anti-littering campaign program? So there now have been folks that have been connected, and I've talked to the transit district, and that's in regards to the train and the buses, because obviously what my objective would be through this group is to empower folks. So when they see something, they'll have a resource, whether it's phone or whether it's email, to reach out and take care of it immediate. So that therefore we don't have a time by, well, I'll take care of that next week. So I think that's kind of the process I was going. Also, as you folks know, in October we had a day over here on October 17th. A lot of you were there and helped and appreciate it. But what needs to be done is that we may not find ourselves in a May clean sweep again, potentially. So what was suggested is in April having another day, but larger scale, with recology and having, because we had a lot of e-waste and a lot of paint. And we basically need more space physically and more the ability to accept and get that in. With that said, I was going to ask Salazar and myself if we could just work on that one topic quickly and let then the others work about how we can, as we heard a lot of positive comments tonight on it. And I can continue to find the connections within the county and then forward that so we can kind of come up with a campaign. And I think it was mentioned Saturday, but it's one of the things I didn't realize, but our garbage cans. So they should be here to maintain the garbage inside, but a lot of them are here. And then so you have animals that are getting into it. You have it strewn, and that's been brought up that has increased quite a bit. And I think the garbage company's been trying to be understanding during COVID, but at some point, we've got to stop the source at the source. And honestly, we have to do it. If we think back to a long time ago with graffiti. We had a graffiti major problem in here. We enacted some new ordinances, a new program, a new system, a contact, and we got it under control. It was also educating people to want to be engaged and involved. It was also that it's not okay to put something on the sidewalk and have it for free, and then that free thing stays there to 2 to 3 weeks, and then it's not free anymore. It becomes, you need to take care of it. So that's what I'm hoping that will encompass and do, and I think it's time, and with what's happening, I appreciate everybody doing that. For the regional bodies, I appreciate it because it's a little more equitable this time, so somebody's not taking on too many, but we are all going to need some alternates. So kind of review the document, see where we can help each other.
Mayor Medina, would you like, I'm sorry to interrupt, would you like me to pull up the spreadsheet so that you can review it? Okay.
No, thank you. So what I would ask is that we all try to help each other because these are important bodies we need to be at the regional level, and they're important for us being engaged. So thank you for your patience and listening to me ramble. So I appreciate it all. And that is for E, but I have our council member, Hamilton, on G. Receive, report, and adopt resolution accepting annual report on receipt and use of development impact fees fiscal year ending June 30th, 2020.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just have a question on this. Hopefully it's a quick one. Since we don't levy an impact fee for stormwater usage, can we confirm that for all the projects that we collected impact fees for in 2020 that are encompassed in this report, that all of them will mitigate 100% of their stormwater and don't send outflow into the stormwater system? It seemed like a timely question because of all the discussions we're having about stormwater.
City Manager.
Council member, in general, yes, it is true that new projects have to mitigate 100% of the additional stormwater runoff that they're creating. There's sort of nuances with every project, and so I hesitate to make a global statement of what you alluded to, but you're absolutely right. In general, new projects have to create retention basins or do something else to either treat or use the additional stormwater that they're creating. There are caveats where sometimes that may not occur. With all the projects, I just don't have the knowledge on what happened.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, are there any other questions or action on items A through G? Councilmember Mason.
Yes, I just had a question. First of all, I wanted to just thank everybody who worked on this chart. It's under our umbrella of stronger governance. I think it really clarifies what the committee and appointments are and board appointments. I wanted to also just congratulate Councilmember Salazar for his appointment to the Legislative Committee. I think it's really important that we have representation on these regional boards, regional committees, because let's face it, if you don't have a seat at the table, you don't really have a voice. So I think that's great. And then I also just wanted to ask for the appointments that we received, will somebody be reaching out this year as part of our strengthened governance to let us know when the first meeting is that we should be attending for each one of these appointments?
The answer is yes. So the agencies ask the clerk who are the representatives, and then that's placed forward with them, and then their rosters are updated, and then information will be sent. In one of your cases, I called Seth Miller myself just to say, hey, can you forward me that, because I'm trying to put together this graph with staff. So, but yes, that's been the process since I've started. And so yes, they will forward this information once there's action, as in some of the cases it actually has to have our approval before they can actually notify. Vice Mayor Medina.
Yes, Mayor Medina, I just wanted to thank you for we're thinking along the same lines here about
Medinas.
this. For the for working with our community, find better solutions to why it's happening and how we can solve it. And it's going to take a lot of effort. I just wanted to make sure that this subcommittee will be able to meet with the public, also to get their input and come up with solutions and education programs. There are suggested education programs working with our schools, because a lot of this littering it's done by us. It's just people not pretty much disregarding our community and so how we come up with that. And so I just wanted to thank you for that. And the other thing is making sure that we do have alternates for Peninsula Clean Energy, and pretty much everything else, so that in case one of us can't make it, these meetings, then there's always somebody available. So we always have somebody at the table, because not all these committees, they don't meet that frequently. And so if you don't show up, then we're not heard. And I think another thing to stress is as we look into our community, our council policies and procedures, is making sure how we report back to the full council, so that not only is the council aware of it, but the community is aware of what's happening with all of these different boards, commissions, and agencies. So I just wanted to make sure, and thank you for doing this. So
thank you for your comments, and it is important. As a good example through this detail is PCE, which Salazar was the alternate. Well, he's also already committed as the delegate to another agency. So one night when he was recused, he actually, because he could do Zoom, he attended both meetings. But in normal times when we're driving around, that wouldn't have been possible. So that's why I really encourage, and Vice Mayor is correct. Some of them meet 4 times, 6 times a year. Some of them are very time sensitive. They only last an hour and a half, and they stop it. So I would really encourage all of us to look at those. And you are right. I know just even with me when we have an agenda, I try to cut and paste that with action items and send that out to council. Sometimes there are important things for us all to know. But thank you for those comments, and maybe to the Vice Mayor and to the council member, maybe you can collaborate a little bit with staff so everybody's on the same page, so that we all go at it the same direction as you and I had talked about Caltrans today, Vice Mayor, which I appreciated, because they got a phone call from me, a second one, and wasn't as patient as the first. But they need to set an expectation, and we need to get them what our expectation is for this community. So thank you. Okay. I'm sorry, Member Hamilton, is that a new hand or from the?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. No, sorry.
Just a quick question. So looking at this and looking at through some of the external commissions that require alternates, if we want to volunteer for one of the empty slots, should we just email you and the rest of the council?
Yes, I would appreciate that, or at least me or the city clerk, but at least we'll know we've got each other covered.
Got it.
Thank you so much. Councilmember Mason.
Sorry, just to save staff time, you might want to check in with City Attorney Zaffarano. I had previously asked for all the maintenance agreements that we have, and my understanding is that that we don't have any maintenance agreements right now with some of the agencies that are honestly causing the most blight in our community. So just to save time, just FYI. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Any action on consent, please?
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the entirety of the consent calendar.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, thank you, Salazar Medina. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hamilton,
Aye.
Councilmember Mason,
Aye.
Councilmember Salazar,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Marty Medina,
Aye.
and Mayor Rico Medina.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you all.